Track Wrestling here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida at the NWCA convention with Managing Director of NCAA Championships, Anthony Holman. Big year coming up. First time in 23 years that the NCAA Championships will be held in a football stadium, but nothing like this before, going into US Bank Stadium. What is that going to look like for people going up to Minneapolis next March?
Well, it's going to look like plenty of seats available. So everybody that's out there, don't worry about having a ticket. We're still working on the configuration, Andy, figuring out kind of how to set the mats up. Preliminarily, I think we're going to do a diamond setup where two mats are featured at each of the four kind of sides of the arena. That's what we're thinking. You know, it is a football stadium, so the sight lines will be clear, but it certainly will be further than what some of our fans are used to in an arena. The upside of that is we typically have 6, 7, maybe 8,100 level seats in an arena. We're going to have, you know, upwards of 15,000, 16,100 level seats, so there'll be more opportunities for better seats.
How many different layouts have you looked at?
About half a dozen.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, about a half dozen. There could be more, but there's only about 6 or 7 that make sense that are even practical.
What all has gone into this in terms of going up there, checking out the stadium, looking at sight lines? How extensive has this been? What kind of things have you done to put yourself in a spectator's shoes or in their seat?
Yeah, we've done that. So we've created kind of these 42 by 42, the size of our mats, plastic sheets that we can move around on the field, and then go up and take pictures, sit in different seats, and see all of the different diagrams, get aerial views to kind of get a different perspective from the seat. So that's been the biggest thing. The second part is really trying to utilize the space, all of the space that they have at US Bank Stadium, back of house as well, to maximize that for the convenience of the student athletes, and what are the best entry points to get into the competition areas. Where can we stage student athletes? Where can we set up spaces for them to have their food and beverages and their lounges and relaxation? Two of the things that we've never been able to overcome, and some of the challenges we have at our championships, are capacity for fans. You know, there's always been a demand for more seating, and there's always been a struggle about floor space and back of house locker room space. Well, US Bank Stadium gives us a chance to overcome those barriers, so we want to take advantage of those.
Originally, like, there were a lot of talk about it being just on one end, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And what got you away from that?
So that's how it started, and that was the original proposal, and that gave us a seating capacity around 24,000. The challenge there was you had very limited 100 level seats, so now we had probably fewer or just as many as we would have had in an arena. So now you're talking 7,100 level seats in an arena versus 7,100 level seats in a stadium. What's the benefit? You know, so now all of the seats have to go up, and then you're maxed out at 24. We thought, why not take advantage again? You've got 15,100 level seats. Take advantage of that. So that's when we moved back out to the middle of the stadium, the football stadium, to take advantage of primarily all of the 100 level seats, and then provide, you know, if the demand was there, we'd have more flexibility to increase our capacity. If we did it at one end, we really couldn't increase capacity beyond the 24,000 we'd be set up for.
What do you think would be a good number? What for attendance for a high session? What would you guys like to see? What do you think's realistic?
What did Iowa have at Kinnick Stadium?
They had 42.
They had 42?
Allegedly.
Allegedly. So
I think they had 52.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would argue they had 52, but
wow.
42, 43, something like that was the official number.
So whatever they had plus one. That's what I want.
Okay.
I want it to be the largest seen kind of wrestling event, you know, in our history, but really, Andy, we're setting it up for about 42,000. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, we can flex up some from there, but 42,000 is kind of the current model we're working from.
And FanFest, will that be in the building there too?
TBD, potentially. The challenge with having FanFest in the building is then having to keep the building open throughout, and then we've got to try and labor, cleaning, changing over. That if we could find it, do it in an area that we could control that space, and potentially, but So TBD. Some of it may be we're looking at an exterior component with some inside. We're looking at an adjacent facility, or not adjacent, but a facility that's nearby. But TBD. Some of those and other questions will be answered here, we hope, after our upcoming site visit later this month.
Gaining access now. I mean, more tickets are going to be available.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're gaining floor space, gaining a lot by doing this. What are the trade-offs with that? What do you see as the trade-offs that we might lose here?
Yeah, so certainly some of our wrestling traditionalists, who have been loyal and continue to come to our championship for 20, 30 years, we don't want to lose them. They certainly are the core of our business function. But we have to be innovative and think about how to introduce the championship to the next generation of fans. So I would just tell our traditional fan that the experience may be slightly different. You're going to go from an 18, 20,000 seat arena to a 60,000 seat stadium, and the dynamics of that are going to change. So I would just ask that you be patient, be open-minded. We're going to look to use technology to offset some of the differences in experience that our fans might have, but the trade-off is going to be a great enhancement and an experience for our student athletes and the competitors.
Technology, you're talking jumbotrons, and things of that
video
nature?
boards, and apps to follow along. Yeah.
Okay. Bid cycle coming up next year, right?
Yeah, so the bid cycle, actually the bid portal for championships for 23 through 26 will open August 26th. So that bid portal will open up then, and we'll be looking for bids for the 4 years following 22. The cycle will go, the bid period will go until about February of 2020. Then we'll make our final decisions will be announced in October of 2020. So we've expanded the window of time that venues and cities and communities have to submit bids. And then we gave ourselves more time to synthesize those, analyze those. We want to make sure that, wrestling, for example, we get through the 2020 championship, see what that experience looks like before we make commitments to further down the road.
What's your sense on the demand for this tournament?
We've sold to the general public 17,000 tickets already, which, that never happens because we typically have no more than 1,500, 2,000 tickets sold to the general public. So I'm enthused and really excited about that, because now these are people that historically have not had a chance to purchase tickets, and they've already bought 17,000 of them.
How about looking down the road, though? I mean, just in a general sense of the NCAA championships, the wrestling championships, how much demand is there for various cities around the country wanting to bring it to town now?
Yeah, fair point. I think two things happened. During our last bid cycle, going to New York in 2016, I think, exposed our championship to more of a casual fan base and more of just a sports fan. We moved away from just wrestling fans. And again, I don't ever want to discount our wrestling fans. They're our core constituent, and they make this championship what it is. But we want to show and expose that great experience to others, and having that opportunity to go to non-traditional markets like New York City, go to a non-traditional venue like US Bank Stadium, has expanded our appeal, if you will, to other communities. So I anticipate, last time we had probably 16, 17 viable options. I anticipate we'll have at least that, maybe 20 to 24 cities, venues, communities that will show an interest in our championship that are viable options for us.
Does the indoor football stadium, I imagine that's got to open possibilities up that wouldn't...
Yeah, I think folks will be paying attention to how things go this year in Minnesota for sure. If that goes well, and that looks like that's a model that we can replicate in other cities, I'm sure we'll be open to it. My sense of folks have asked me, do I anticipate, even if it's, if we sell 50,000, 60,000 tickets, and do I anticipate that would be the new norm for our wrestling championship? I don't think so. Not on a recurring basis. I think, again, it may give us an opportunity to be more creative during a bid cycle, and that, again, we go to a non-traditional venue, city, or something like that 1 or 2 times in a bid cycle, but I don't think it'll ever become what our men's basketball Final Four is. You're always there at 72,000 seat football stadium, and those are the only ones in the country that could host it. I don't think that's what we want.
Thank you very much, Anthony. Anything else for us?
No, I appreciate it. Just look for, hopefully folks are tracking on tickets are available for Minnesota. Later on, as the season gets closer, we'll probably start, we will make single session tickets available to fans that want to come out and just check it out, that have never gone before. That's another one of the appeals to going to a larger venue, gives us an opportunity to do that. So we invite folks that have some interest or just curious to definitely take advantage of that.